Welcome to the Respectful Divorce Podcast. If you're considering a divorce, it's important to know that you have options for how you divorce. On the Respectful Divorce Podcast, we explore those options and provide advice from divorce professionals. I'm your host today, Tim Crouch, and we're talking with Jennifer Piper, a collaborative divorce attorney in the St. Louis area. Jennifer, thanks for joining us today on the Respectful Divorce Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So let me just ask a very simple question out up front. Why family law? Why divorce? How did this become the area that you focused your practice on?
That's a loaded question. Well, actually, when I first was in law school, I said family law was something I never wanted to do. And when I began working for a law firm back then, almost I think 25 years ago now, one of the partners there made it his mission to have me like family law. And he taught me it in a way that I actually fell in love with it. He tried to do it collaboratively, believed in mediating and truly helping people versus just fight. If I had been taught or at a firm where it was just fight, I think I would have hated it. Those are generally not the cases I love. They're generally not beneficial for families. They're generally not beneficial for children. And I wouldn't like it. But practicing with him, he taught me it in a way that was respectful. And you still fight when you need to, but that is not the ultimate goal of every case.
So was there a kind of a transitional moment for you when you said that going to court is absolutely the worst thing that you could do in a divorce case?
I mean, I think I knew that fairly quickly. My parents had a terrible divorce, and I knew how it affected me as a child. I was drugged to the courthouse as a child. That was not pleasant. It still affects me to this day. And I don't recommend it for anyone. As I was practicing and saw how the people that do nothing but fight, ended up, and my stress level and their stress level and how their children reacted, and doing guardian ad litem work, which I also do, and getting to really see how it affects the children that way when I talk to them, it became very clear that is not the way that your family should want to go through this.
And was the reason that you didn't think you'd be a divorce lawyer because of your parents' divorce, that you thought that wasn't the path you wanted to go down?
Yes, I saw how bad theirs was. I knew how much it affected me, and I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So what makes the collaborative process different from other ways of going through a divorce?
With the collaborative process, it is not designed to fight. You still, there's certainly some advocating, the clients on their own behalf and you on your own behalf or on your client's behalf, but the clients are actually much more involved. The reasons why are much more considered. They're not exposed to being in court. All of their private information is not exposed. And they're actually working together for the benefit of the family as a whole. And especially if there's children, for making sure the children are one of the most important focuses, if not the most important focus, versus what is one person getting and what is the other person getting and who's winning. You're winning by coming to something that works, coming to an agreement that works for your family as a whole versus one person wins, which doesn't exist anyway. Even if you go to court and there's one person doesn't win everything. There's so many moving pieces. I always tell my clients in that scenario, the only thing I can guarantee you is you're going to be unhappy. Even if I think you won and I think you got a slam dunk and did really well, you're going to be unhappy about something. Something's also probably going to be wrong. The judges, they can only deal with so much information and you only get so much time to tell your story to the judge. They can't even know everything about you. In the collaborative process, we actually get to know you. You get to talk about your reasons why, where the judge may never even hear those and may not care. Or even if they want to care, they don't have time to care because they may have 400 cases on their docket and you're just one of them. It's a much better process that focuses on your family and what is good for all of you.
Are clients generally happier at the end of the process?
Very, very much so. After going through a contentious divorce, which sometimes can take years, it could be anywhere from a year to 3 or 4 years just to get divorced in some of the counties in St. Louis. And that's not pleasant. The ones that drag out like that, it's incredibly stressful for you. Your life is on hold throughout that time. It's difficult to buy property. It's difficult to date. It's difficult to move on or even plan anything. And people that do can end up getting in trouble from the court for doing it because things basically have to stay status quo while you're going through the divorce process. In the collaborative process, we can work on all of those things together. And while sometimes the collaborative process can still take several months, it's a lot faster in the long run. And with having that control and ability to actually participate, they will be less stressed. They will understand the process more. They'll be much more part of it and much happier at the end.
So one of the parts of the collaborative process that's a little different is that you have some neutral experts that you bring into the process. What are those folks and what are their roles?
So first we have the coach, and the coach is going to help make sure the meetings are moving like they're supposed to, kind of act like a mediator at times. They will make sure they're in charge of making sure the agenda is followed. If someone is off the agenda or going down a road that maybe we're not ready to talk about, it's their job to help bring them back. If people get upset, it might be their job to help talk to them on the side and calm them down. They also help make sure meetings are getting scheduled. They help somewhat do housekeeping, like just keeping everyone's schedules together and make sure the case is moving. But they are mental health professionals. And so sometimes they may be meeting with people individually outside of the group meetings. And that could be they meet with the husband and wife, just the husband and wife together, or they meet with the husband or they meet with the wife, depending on what's going on and maybe who needs a little extra support through the process.
Well, and that person is a neutral. They don't take sides, right?
Correct. They are neutral. There's also a financial neutral who's going to help with all of the financials. They're going to help explain the property, explain the debts, explain any possible tax consequences. They will often meet with the parties together, but not with the attorneys, to help even just do some of the basics of getting all of the property together and making sure the parties understand exactly what they own and understand what can be divided, what can't be divided. They don't come to every group meeting, but they come to the group meetings where we're talking about property division or spousal support or child support. They're involved in anything financial.
These additional experts make it sound like it's a more expensive process, but it's really not more expensive than going to court, right?
Very true. It can seem like it could add up because, yes, you're paying for a lot of people. But generally, when you're meeting with that financial expert, there may be several meetings with him where the attorneys aren't there. And so instead of paying 2 attorneys, you're paying the financial expert whose probably hourly rate is cheaper than even one of the attorneys. So that helps save. But in the long run, you're also not having to hire additional experts that you may have to hire anyway in a litigated case. You may even have to just consult with financial experts. And the cost of going to trial is substantially more of hiring the neutrals.
So this is the Respectful Divorce podcast. And the word respect and divorce sometimes can seem a little oxymoronic. But what What does respect in a divorce look like, and what does that mean to you?
It means everyone is going to be cordial and nice to each other. There's not going to be surprises. You are working together. You are trading information. You're trading documents. You are kind to each other in the meetings. You're not attacking each other. There are certainly times when people get emotional during the meetings. That's normal. We can't really change that. That's just life. But you don't have people attacking each other and surprising each other. Whereas in litigation, you could get served with motions left and right. You're shocked by them. There could be emergency motions filed and you have to run to court. All of that costs a lot of money. Allegations are made that may or may not be true, that you never wanted made. You never wanted public anyway. That's not going to happen during the collaborative process. Even if there might be some allegations everyone needs to be aware of, or some misconduct everyone needs to be aware of, it's going to be discussed and brought up in a much nicer manner than on attack from an attorney while someone's on the stand. Or maybe they're not even on the stand and all of a sudden the attorney is attacking them to the judge, and they may or may not even be in the courtroom to hear it and may or may not even be allowed to respond. If they are allowed to respond, they may be limited in what they're allowed to say. It's much meaner
in court.
Yes.
Yeah. And then this doesn't mean because it's nicer that it's an easier divorce. I mean, this is still hard work, isn't it?
It's still a lot of hard work. You're still going through all of the emotions and you're going through the grief process. So you still have that to deal with. And there's a lot of times there's complicated issues that we do have to talk through, especially if we're talking about child custody or spousal support. Those can be very emotional issues for people. And so we still have to deal with those emotions, but we're actually dealing with them versus ignoring them. In court, they're generally ignored. Your attorney might hear some of it. Your attorney might be empathetic with you, but the other side and the judge really aren't. They're there all business and they don't deal with the emotion. In the collaborative process, we actually try to address that. And that may be there are some people that need a little extra support, either from their attorney or from the coach, to help with those things a little more.
We're doing this ahead of Divorce with Respect Week, which is coming up March 3rd through 9th. And that's an opportunity for people to talk to a collaborative professional, a divorce professional for free, and to learn more about the process. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and schedule a time to talk with you, what's the best way to reach you?
They can call my office at 314-449-9800, or they're also welcome to reach out through the website at www.familyally.com.
All right. Jennifer Piper with us on today's edition of the Respectful Divorce Podcast. Thank you for joining us today, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciated it.
This important programming note, Divorce with Respect Week is March 3rd through 9th. During Divorce with Respect Week, you can talk with lawyers, divorce coaches, divorce financial experts for free. To learn more about the divorce process and your options, simply go to divorcewithrespectweek.com to find professionals near you. That's divorcewithrespectweek.com. We'll put the links to the websites in the show notes. This is Tim Crouch reminding you that collaborative divorce is a better way to untie the knot.